What's up, everybody? Welcome to another, this is the first Big Gay Live podcast. I am your host, the Big Gay Viking himself, Logan, and with me in the background are...
Lisa. I'm Megan.
Yes, Lisa and Megan are here. We are going to be talking about all sorts of random bullshit, and this is also live on Facebook, so if anybody wants to chime in the chat, you're more than welcome to ask questions, tell jokes, make fun of my mustache. I don't care. Apparently I look like Ron Jeremy's son, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not cool with it. I was literally having a conversation with somebody, and they were watching my stream, and they were like, why do you look like Ron Jeremy's kid? I was like, I didn't know I did until now, and I can't unsee that, so thank you. So, a little bit of a get to know you. Anybody who's watched me may not be aware of who you two are. So, Lisa, how do you know me? I don't like to laugh.
Where do we start?
The beginning, usually. It's weird to start a story unless it's fucking like Memento. You don't start it at the end.
We have.
As long as you got. We're going.
Because we could be here till 2021 if we want to get deep.
So,
The first ever year-long podcast. Tune in for naps. It'll be great. We have to sleep a rotation. One of us has to be awake to monitor chat at all times. Somebody's always got to be in the chair. It's like
Well,
the
you
Matrix.
look like you're the one who'd be able to go the most sleep deprived, so...
I have, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 4.5 cases of Red Bull behind me now on the shelf.
Oh, yeah,
I
you'd
think
be
you'd
good.
the one.
Amazon had a sale.
We'll take naps. Lisa and I will take naps and shifts, and when you finally crash from Red Bull overdose,
One of us should be
we'll
awake.
take over.
When you crash, you mean when my heart finally gives out.
I was trying to be nice.
Everybody just watching stream will just see.
I was trying to be nice.
Did we just watch a man die? That fat man died. Fuck. Do we call an ambulance? Nah, man, look at him.
Anyway,
tongue
how
rolled
do
up.
you know Lisa?
No, it's how Lisa knows me.
Well, we've worked together at Target, and we've really been friends ever since, for the most part.
We really have. We've dated a few times here and there.
Which that's how I know Logan.
That's how this one knows me.
I know Logan as the shit monster that I treated like furniture for several years after they had dated because I felt like he was that much of a garbage person.
I am a human dumpster, but that's because I don't know how to stop putting things in my mouth.
Well, literally, you almost caused our friendship to end.
Oh, I know. I know.
He's
So-
aware.
I am aware.
That's why you became human garbage.
My favorite thing about that, though, is like the entire time Lisa's like, she fucking hates you. I'm like, I don't hate her.
It didn't matter.
Because like she would talk about you and she'd be like, yeah, she likes this. I'm like, I like all those things. I'm like, we could be friends.
But then finally, we were in a car ride together with.
And we stuck you in the... We stuck you in the back of front of the
Yep.
by the way.
Yep.
And
Shoved
then
us in a
left-
back seat.
And then left us alone in V-Stock together.
It's literally just us looking at manga being like, I like that one.
I like that. Why do you like that? I can't like you, damn it!
Why do you like things I like? This is bullshit.
Damn it!
Fuck you.
Quit making it difficult to hate you, damn it!
Quit making this friendship make sense.
Quit making this turn into a friendship! Stop it!
Are we friends? Fuck you! Never!
Never! I refuse!
So yes, I met Megan through Lisa after me and Lisa broke up. Because to be honest, I am the most wishy-washy person there is on this planet. Like, I will date somebody for 2 days and be the happiest in-love person in the world, and 2 days later be like, you know what? I want dick. I can't do it. I'm gay. It's weird. I'm very wishy-washy with relationships. Like, I like a person, and I love you. I do.
Without any prompting, I was shocked.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I love you as a friend, and I probably love you in a romantic way, but my brain doesn't know how to compute those things. Like, I cannot do relationships. I am the worst at them. Because I refuse to text first. I refuse to hold a conversation for longer than 5 minutes.
Last time we talked, aside from this week, we had a 14-day streak on Snapchat, and
We
I
did.
about died.
We did.
But
14 day
that's
streak.
Snapchat, though.
No, I mean legit conversation.
Oh no, it was
Tweet.
talking. She would just send a picture every day to make sure that the streak continued.
And then yell at him to make sure the streak continues.
She would send a picture to make sure the streak continued. I would answer via text, and she'd be like, "No, bitch, You
No.
fucking send a snap.
The streak needs to be maintained.
She literally got so
Don't
many snaps of me
understand.
putting my hand on the back of the phone and just going like, fucking fine. That's what you get.
That's fine. Strict it did.
What word did you just say? Because my brain heard derp.
Streak.
Streak.
Was there a second part? Because my brain literally heard too many syllables for it to
I
just
have
be...
no idea.
It was...
That's actually like how my little sister's brain works sometimes.
That's how my... I've
Like,
had
she
18 concussions. Like, we're lucky I don't drool on myself and I know my own
Listen,
name.
here's what she does. She's had 0 concussions. My other sister actually has had a concussion before. This one, who has not been concussed, but has concurrently twisted both of her ankles in the same year.
Same. I've done mine at the same time.
But
And that is talent.
But like, she'll be talking sometimes, perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden, she's like been possessed and starts speaking in tongues like she's had a seizure. Her brain is having an aneurysm. But as far as she's concerned, she said actual words. There was English that came out of her mouth.
I love having conversations with you. You're just sitting there talking and saying, yeah. And then you went to see what me. I'm sorry? Would you repeat that? It's like you're talking to a Muppet.
No, a very specific Muppet. We're
Yeah,
talking
Swedish
about-
Chef.
Yeah, we're talking about Swedish Chef
Yeah,
here.
meet-
let's not throw in all the Muppets just on Swedish Chef, okay? Swedish
Don't
Chef
you
is
throw all those
just
Muppets under that fucking non-speaking bus. Kermit could sing.
Kermit can
It's
sing
not
like a
easy being green.
motherfucker. You need to find that rainbow connection, sir. You are having the biggest problem with that, I think.
Oh my god.
That's your biggest problem with relationships. You can't find that rainbow connection.
We're 7 minutes in, there's been a Muppets reference. That's great. Fucking awesome, guys. It's the best. Alright.
I mean, what do you want to move on to? Pole dancing? Or like...
Can you see the pole? You can't see it off. It's a thick ass pole to dance on though. Kinda,
Now he's getting
Well, I mean, we're...
I'm gonna try and
we're
swing
getting
around
Thunder
it.
we're going to Thunder from Down Under in May, so
we should
there
have
will be
honestly
a
gotten him
poll.
a ticket.
Nope, I'm good. 1, don't leave the house. 2, people. Not my
I've
thing.
been fine. We have our own row.
I thought you said we have our own robe. Like we're all just gonna huddle in. Get the big robe!
Hey, I got a Hufflepuff bathrobe for Christmas.
We're not all gonna
excited.
fit in it, that's all I'm saying. Like a bunch of children in a trench coat trying to get into an R-rated movie. It's gonna be great.
R-O-W, go, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
I was wondering if she was gonna keep going, Pezzo.
I can make you scream.
Like, she stopped at a part, she was like, row, row, row. And I was like, okay, it's over. Then there was a slight pause. Gently down the street. Fuck. It didn't stop. Alright. So.
Hey, if you want the song that never ends, I can do that for you too.
So the song that never ends.
Oh no, I was referring to Baby Shark doo 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 doo. Baby Shark doo 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 doo. Baby Shark doo 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 doo. Baby Shark.
Mommy shark do 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 do. Yeah, alright, cool. Moving on. So, I did want to talk to you guys. You're both fans of comic books, movies. I don't know if you read comics. I know you've tried. I said it like you can't read.
I don't.
That came off like you're illiterate, and that wasn't the point.
I don't particularly read the comics, but like I go into the lore of them. Like I look it up and shit.
I've been down a few Wikipedia rabbit holes in my time.
Not wrong. Not inaccurate.
Literally, that is how I watch wrestling now. Is I watch like the pay-per-views, and then like they'll put their videos up on YouTube. I'm like, I'm gonna watch 30 seconds of that. I'm caught up.
Yeah,
Time to move on.
right?
Literally how it goes.
Yep.
Literally.
I'm like, you have 3 shows a week. Not doing it.
No.
But a new DC movie came out.
Yeah.
What's it called? My brain had an aneurysm.
The official title that it came out with was Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
The fabulous Harley Quinn. Get it right.
Oh, really?
She's fabulous.
You couldn't remember the entire title, but she at least
I remembered the word fabulous. I get some fucking credit. Anyway, so that movie came out
Of course,
to.
the gay remembers the word fabulous.
Of course I do. Are you serious?
They only hear the words like fabulous, wig, marry, snatched.
I haven't worn a wig in a while. It's been a minute. They did throw me in a dress and shove me on stage in choir, though. That was fun. They're like, you know the women's part better than they do. Go. I'm like, okay.
See,
I got this.
Tea. That is some hot tea right there. This is gonna be my tea. It's water, but it's tea. It's tea without the tea. So it's all honest tea.
Diet tea. Just water. It broke my brain for a second. I was like,
Diet tea. It's diet tea. All the wonders of tea without the tea.
yeah. It's great. Just boiling hot water. Drink that. It's awesome.
It's hot leaf juice.
Hot leaf juice.
Uncle, that's what all tea is.
No, that's the name of my porn, actually.
How could my own nephew say something so terrible?
Nani. Anyway.
No
so,
Avatar: The Last Airbender from you? Come on now.
I literally, that's one of the things I need to watch that I never have. I have not watched Avatar. I didn't even watch the bad movie I made.
Didn't you even watch Legend of Korra?
Nope.
No, I don't blame you for not watching Last Airbender. That was
That was
garbage.
M. Night Shyamalan shouldn't make movies that aren't about specifically things he finds cool.
No, here's the thing. He claims to be such a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, and the guy
That's
who
the
made all the
shitty thing.
Wolverine and X-Men movies before they got good was like, I love the X-Men comics. And then we got X-Men
But seem
3.
to know absolutely nothing about them.
Like, X-Men 1 was fine because it was the first one. X-Men 2, kind of fun to watch. Then you get to X-Men 3 and you got the guy with balls on his chin like it's Men in Black, and I was just confused as to what was happening.
Darchinian.
It's a Balchinian.
That's right.
Kenny's Balchinian. Yeah, kick him in the chin. Man, humor was weird in the early 2000s. That's all I'm going to say.
It's not weird now?
It's weird, but in a better way. Like, now we all laugh because we're all in on the joke. Back then, nobody was in on the fucking joke.
I'm sorry. Back in the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, I believe everyone was in on the joke that was The Matrix.
The first one was good.
The Matrix, the first Matrix was good. But here's the point. Here's my point.
They made 2 more, now they're making another one.
No. Every, TV show, animated cartoon, everything.
I have seen that Neo.
Satired that
I
fucking
have-
Neo,
I
that
have
fucking
seen-
Neo scene where he leans
Yep,
back, avoiding
dodging bullets, yeah.
Everyone does that now.
I've seen that about
just
80,000 different mediums
An
now.
episode of
We
Lizzie
literally watched
McGuire
an
where
episode
they
of
did
Lizzie
it.
McGuire where that did.
Weren't they bringing that back for a minute?
I think it's just on hold right now. We'll see.
So was the Obi-Wan series, and I'm really sad about that because I really want to watch
But
Ewan
they're gonna focus
McGregor.
on the Mighty Ducks series.
Oh yeah, Estevez is coming back. He's fat Estevez. Oh, he doesn't look so hot now. Like, he's not doing so good.
I mean, they posted
Hockey, power plays,
Well, you remembered one word. I'm proud of you. But no,
overtime,
that's a lot of sports. I can't even give you that one.
shootout.
That's in soccer too, but we'll give you the half a point on that one. Any more?
Captain!
That's every sport. All right.
That's
I was
ours.
referring to the dog, though.
No, that's
Say the
not
dog?
ours. That's not our dog.
That's
So a
it's a
lot of-
hockey dog.
I thought she meant underdog because he wears a cape like he's a captain.
No, like
Like a superhero. He's like Captain Underdog.
the Capitals, like the Blues have Barclay.
Hey, there actually was Boomerang, Hanna-Barbera, that's what I'm thinking of. Hanna-Barbera had...
Wasn't Boomerang the TV network they were on?
Yeah, Boomerang network, but Boomerang is where Hanna-Barbera stuff hung out from
Yeah,
the
like
90s.
Jetsons and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was actually a cartoon that was, the superhero was a dog, and his name was Underdog.
I know they made a movie. Jason Lee played the
Underdog
dog.
is here!
Have no fear, Underdog is here. Which is just a strange concept because as soon as the dog showed up, if I was a girl, I'd be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, that
Right.
dog's talking. Either I'm on LSD or mutants. And neither one's cool.
Hello, cartoon logic, everything talked.
That's a like, that would be the most horrifying fucking world to live in. You know, everything's sentient. Like, you go to take a shit in the toilet, it's like, thank you. Nope, done. I'm
Never
done.
again.
Okay.
I'm holding the
getting,
poops.
We're getting so far off track here from Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey and the fuck, I forgot it already. Oh, that's why they changed the title.
And the invention of the fabulous Harley Quinn.
This is why they changed the title, because people like me are fucking dumb. Did you see that new movie? What? Birds of... I forgot it. Is it good? Yeah. What's it called?
Most people just refer to it as Birds of Prey, and I think that has a lot to do with why the opening weekend, sucked.
I don't know, because, I mean, DC's coming off of, Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Like, they're coming off a string of pretty decent performing movies.
But no one actually knew what Birds of Prey was. It's like they knew Harley was in it, but Harley was also associated with Suicide Squad, which a lot of people panned because
To be fair, Suicide Squad is a fucking 2-hour music video and an acid trip, and it's not good.
and part of it is not good because
You can tell it's not good because only 2 of the actors give a shit. It's
That-
Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Everybody
Well,
else is
it's
just
not
like,
even-
I'm getting paid. I don't
well,
care.
for me it's not even
I
that.
take that back.
There was so
Jai
much-
Courtney is actually fucking awesome as
You-
Captain
there was-
Boomerang.
To me, it's just because there was so much footage that ended up on the cutting room floor that they didn't.
Well, that's
use.
every
So,
every
like,
movie nowadays. Every studio has a
I know
hand in it.
there's
It's
like
getting...
a whole bunch of scenes on like the cutting room floor, but here's the thing: they made probably some of the worst editing choices. If they made a movie that should have been as awesome as it sounded, come off that bad.
Suicide Squad had the potential to be one of those. It had the potential to be the Guardians of the Galaxy for DC.
Right.
Because when you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, it's an unknown property. Because I guarantee nobody had a fucking clue who any of those characters are. Maybe Drax, because they had introduced Thanos, and that people may have looked into the backstory about it. But nobody knows who the fuck Star-Lord is, Gamora, Nebula, unless you read Infinity Gauntlet, you know who Nebula and Drax are.
Right.
And it was this cast of unknown characters that Marvel just took a shot on. They got the right director at the right time, and it worked because the comedic beats were where they needed to be. When you turn around and look at Suicide Squad, the comedic beats are all over the fucking place, and it's filled in with like this horrible backstory. Like, yeah, this guy murdered his family. What?
Yeah, and I think again that had to do with a lot of the editing choices, the stuff that ended up on the cutting room floor, where they didn't let the quiet moments be the quiet moments that.
There was
when they
nothing
started-
quiet about that fucking
No,
movie.
That's the thing.
It just
They
felt
didn't-
like a toddler screaming in my ear the entire
Like I
time. It's
said,
like,
they
did you
didn't-
see this part? It's fucking awesome.
Like I said, they didn't let the quiet moments be quiet moments because there were places where they really should have been quiet moment. Like he really should have had a very quiet moment where everyone could have just absorbed about like
You
how
needed
he
a
was
minute.
gonna do the right
you,
thing.
you needed a minute to reflect on the fact, like, yeah, Diablo murdered a bunch of his family members and his children. Like
And it
you,
was
you
complete
needed that.
accident. His power just got out of control. And they didn't give you like any time to absorb that. They just were like, well, moving on. We've got more movie to do.
Like that's the one thing I like about Guardians is because you have those moments of levity. Like even talking about Star-Lord's backstory, where you like the mom with cancer, everything like that, him getting abducted by Yondu and all that shit. Like there's moments of levity where you can absorb the actions happening to the characters, which is very important in any film script.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
even
and they-
Wonder Woman is 90% levity, and like I understand people love that movie. It's one of DC's better ones. I personally don't like it, just because I find it very boring. Like there's not a lot happening in it, and you can call the bad guy. Fucking as soon as David Thewlis showed up on screen, I'm like, Ares. I'm like, you didn't hire him to be a background singer.
Typecasting.
I'm like, you did not bring in fucking.
That's called typecasting.
You brought in Lupin to be a
Gentlemen,
background character. Get the fuck out of here. No, that's David Thewlis. That motherfucker is top billing for a reason. Like he's too good to be the fucking minister of whatever.
Sorry, his name is Remus Lupin. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's all
That's
you
fair.
are.
His name is Remus Lupin. He is a sweet, sweet baby, and he must be protected.
Sweet, sweet baby. Tried to murder Harry Potter. That's fine. That's fine.
Remus Lupin?
Yeah, whenever he wolfs out by the Whomping Willow, he goes
That's-
after Harry.
He didn't have a choice in the matter.
I'm not
of
saying he
moving
did.
on.
I'm saying you can't be a sweet, sweet baby and then try and be a murder baby too.
In his defense, he also did not take the potion that he needed to take.
And in his defense, Dumbledore's a piece of shit. Dumbledore's
too.
like, "Are you trying to kill Harry Potter? Yes,
had
you're
this-
hired.
We
Well, I
had
think-
this.
And we got a teaching position.
That
I
was,
was going to hurt you."
that was another typecast. That's another
Fuck.
typecast if there ever was one Dumbledore built in. Oh, wait, you have the potential to kill Harry. You know what? The defense against the dark arts.
I just love the idea, like even the first movie when it's fucking what's the first defense guy's name?
Professor Quirrell.
Yeah, when Quirrell shows up, he's like, "Can you take your turban off?" Yeah. Is that Voldemort on the back of your head? Yeah.
Well, that's how you
2-year
feel.
contract.
Well, that's how you feel like it went. But here's the thing: Quirrell had, in the books, had actually been with Hogwarts for several years. He didn't actually get possessed by Voldemort until the school year had started.
I just want to throw out, you're ruining the bit. I understand the backstory. I'm trying to tell a joke. Fuck.
It wasn't even a good bit if I had to.
I'm
put it
aware that it's not, alright? We have to scrape the
It's
bottom of the
not a
barrel
bit.
sometimes. Damn it.
Then it's not a bit, you idiot. It's just a sad attempt at humor.
You're describing 90% of my streams and podcasts.
Well, clearly it's obvious I've never watched one of them before, in
Feel
case
bad.
you didn't know.
Don't feel bad. Not many people have. It's okay. It's like we gave him a gold star. Why? He did his best. He tried. Anyway, back to Birds of Prey. So yeah, it's one of those things where review-wise, the film's doing awesome. Like you have a pretty decent cast. Like Mary Elizabeth Winstead's playing the Huntress, which is awesome. I love her. I think she should be in more things. I've loved her since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
She is fucking awesome in everything she's in.
She didn't get this. I don't feel like she got the screen time she deserved.
I agree with that.
You guys have seen it, right?
We have.
Okay, I haven't.
Yeah.
So
we went
We have.
together. Surprise!
I'll say spoiler territory. You guys can spoil it if you want. I don't care if I see it. I'll watch it on when it comes out.
I'm
on
not a
video.
spoiler type person.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
if
don't-
she does, then she does.
Well, I will ask this: does Jared Leto show up at any point in that movie?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if he would or not. I guess he's all walking at the Oscar and he's like, I quit. I'm done.
Well,
Fuck it.
because to me, here's the thing: is that Jared Leto was panned for being the Joker he was. Here is my.
That's not on him though. That's what bothers me. Is like it was written that fucking way. They were like, "You're
Well,
gonna have face tattoos." He's like,
No,
"I'm
no,
not Post Malone. I'm
it's
joking."
not. For me, it's not even that. For me, it's not even that. Unpopular opinion. Heath Ledger's Joker would not be as praised and adored as it is.
Oh, if he was alive,
if
absolutely
he
not.
did not die right before the movie came out.
Oh, absolutely not. He wouldn't. There would be no Oscar. Like none of that shit would happen. Like,
And it's unfair.
and I am gonna say though, Heath Ledger's Joker is still very fucking good. It is.
Oh, absolutely.
Now I'd say the second
It's
best portrayal
good.
of the character. I think Joaquin Phoenix has done the best portrayal
I
of that
haven't
character.
seen that yet.
It's good.
It's a movie that you
interesting.
can watch once because it is so fucking hard to watch. It is
See,
so.
I haven't seen
It's
that
so
one.
unsettling.
And
I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, to me, and one of the theory videos I've watched on YouTube is that he is just kind of in the universe where he's a failed Joker, more or less. Which I
It
like
depends.
that idea.
It depends on which way you take it though, because there's two different endings they shot, and there's this idea that it's all in his head,
Yeah.
and then there's the idea because I wish they would have done the second ending
Well,
they
there's
shot.
there's a movie that they said they took their inspiration off of, and when they say they took an inspiration from it, it means they kind of ripped it beat for beat. If you actually watch the movie that supposedly inspired this one,
What movie is it?
I can't even remember the fucking name.
All right, this
but
is
it's essentially
hard-hitting news podcasting right here, guys.
Well, sorry.
To be fair,
I watched.
to be fair, I can't remember the name of the movie we're talking about. So.
I watched the theory. I watched the theory like the week after the movie came out and never watched it again. But when they
There's only
the
one theory
about,
I can watch over and over again, and that's fucking game theories, Five Nights at Freddy's theories. Like I will watch them on repeat.
That's who I was referring to.
I love Matt
Inventor-
Pat. Matt Pat is my spirit animal. Like I
Matt
love that
Pat.
dude. Have you watched his new theory that came out today?
Didn't. What one did he do today?
It was the one on the fucking game. Like
The fucking
the same
game.
people who did Duck Season. The second game they did.
okay.
Bone thumbing. Bone
Oh yeah,
thingy.
Boneworks.
Thank
I
you.
haven't seen part 2 of it.
I kept wanting to call it Bone Storm, and then my brain
I
went,
haven't seen
Bonesaw
part-
is
I haven't seen part 2
ready!
of it. I just recently watched, because I subscribed to Film Theory too, and I just watched his part 2, so to speak, for Hi Mary Mary.
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
So
I know what Film Theory is. I don't know what Hi Mary Mary is.
yeah, Hi Mary Mary is actually a YouTube channel
Okay.
where like it is shot and edited very beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's very like one of those thinky. It's a psychological thriller.
So like,
kind of.
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared kind of thing?
A little Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but it's so much more visceral because it's
Okay.
not like a cartoon or anything. Like
Okay.
Salad Fingers was or anything
I
like
can't.
that. It is
I can't
live-
watch Salad Fingers.
It is
I just
live.
can't do it.
It's a live person you're dealing with. It's
Okay.
in like some minor special effects stuff like that. A lot of it is practical though,
Okay.
which is what makes it kind of all that more scary.
I
Because
wish
it's that
every
much more
fucking horror
visceral.
movie did that.
It's that much more
What fun is
visceral
that?
and.
Practical effects are the best thing. Like special effects, I love it because we get movies like Endgame.
I won't get into
Practical
like the
effects are
theory of
amazing.
what Hi Mary Mary is, but the base premise for anyone who doesn't know or who wants to think about getting into it, it's about this girl who literally wakes up in this house with virtually no memory beyond knowing her name is Mary, and
That's why I quit drinking. Mary?
and
Yeah, that's right.
she
Whose
can't
house is
leave
this?
she can't leave the house. It's fine during the day,
Mm-hmm.
but at night all these kind of different monsters and creatures
Okay.
come after her in
Sounds
various
interesting.
ways. None of them really outright attack her necessarily, like touch her or anything like that.
Yeah.
And she's learned how to deal with them and like quote unquote live with them. But they are so very different, and she gave you different names for them. That kind of tells you what she knows. Like this person who created this channel even went so far as to like.
One sec, guys. Dogs are borking. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. And we're back. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
This is live, and there are bork dogs upstairs, so they will go off on occasion. I will be pausing it whenever that does happen.
Okay, so the rest of that's pretty much what sums up what Hi Mary Mary is.
Okay.
But it's so nice that the creator went so far is like there's a side website you can kind of go to and look at the characters' like journal entries to see like a little drawing she did of
Okay.
of the creatures, and like you find out a little more extra information about her herself as a person. So it's kind of like Marble Hornetsy for people who are familiar with Marble Hornets. Like the loading schedule is like super spaced out though, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
that's probably why a lot of people haven't heard of it. There's like literally 11 videos. And it's been going on for over a year.
It's a good amount of videos. All right. Birds of Prey. We'll eventually
But why
talk
did
about
Birds
it.
of Prey suck opening weekend?
Okay, so I know there's a lot of people out there, and I've read a lot of things that are like, oh, people don't want to see women-led movies, people don't want this, people don't want that. I don't think that's the case, because like Wonder Woman fucking did amazing, and Black Widow will probably break records for a female-led movie and all this shit. I think it's really a marketing issue because you've
Every
seen
Disney
agree with
film
that.
ever.
no shit. I
Female
think,
leads,
I-
every Disney film ever.
and I think it's really a marketing issue
Frozen
because
2, anyone?
yeah, no shit. But you look at certain movies that have had the same kind of issue, like one that I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, and he did that movie Zack and Miri Make a Porno, and he was talking about he's like so stations wouldn't run Zack and Miri Make a Porno before 9 o'clock at night. They were just running it as Zack and Miri. He's like, my mom would go see a movie called Zack and Miri. My mom would not go see a movie called Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Like, there's a very big disconnect there. Another one that comes to mind is the one Tom Cruise did, Live, Die, Repeat, which was Edge of Tomorrow. It changed names like 4 fucking times while it was in theaters. Still one of my favorite films, science fiction-wise, that I have ever seen. Because it's just video game the movie. It's a guy who, when he dies, resets to the beginning of the day. And as he's going, he's starting to learn. He's starting to get better at fighting the aliens that he's fighting and all that stuff. It's literally, you're just watching Halo the movie.
Gotcha.
Groundhog Day for sci-fi.
Yes, and that's exactly how they should have fucking marketed it.
You want to hear like the ultimate film that was mismarketed and it is criminally done?
Yes.
The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I have watched a couple trailers for that from when the movie came out, and those trailers do not sell that movie.
They do not
At
sell
all.
it because the producers had no idea how to sell it. The PR had no idea how to market it because no one could, like, literally all they had to have done was go through the opening sequence and, like, with the grandfather and the kid and him being like, oh, it's got everything. It's got magic, sword fighting, pirates, true love, betrayal, and all this jazz. Like, if they would have just marketed it that way, gone.
And to be fair,
Gone. It would have taken off.
trailers from like the early 90s and like 80s, and they're like, trailers fucking sucked back then. There was always, in a world, there was always that one fucking guy
In a
who
modern-
was clearly a billionaire because he was in every movie trailer
Also,
ever for 20
modern
years.
bad marketing was Brave. That was a big misstep
That was
on
a big
Disney and
part.
Pixar's part.
Yeah.
They
We
did
literally
not
had
market
that on, I
correctly.
think either yesterday or the day before when my niece was over watching it. That movie is
It's
underrated so much. It's so
It's
fucking
underrated.
good.
It was not marketed for what it actually was.
That movie is so fucking good. I love that movie.
The trailer pretty much told you nothing about what was going on in that film. If you actually advertised it of the girl actually turns her mom into a goddamn bear, listen,
Everything would have been fine.
Oh, the gay community.
that would have
was
gone
all
so
over it.
much better. Or if they would have done that little bit of the dad being like, pretend I'm married, oh, I don't want to get married, I just want to go and ride around with my hair in the wind with my bow and arrow. Like, if they would have played that one bit, that would have lured people in to be like, I need to know more about this man
And
that
that-
is big and burly but has that falsetto going on. Yo, there we go. See? Once again, Lisa, no one consulted us. One of our favorite turns of phrase. We were not consulted.
Yes.
This is not a consulting firm. It's a podcast.
But it could be for the right price.
If you pay me enough, I will tell you things. That's how business works. Secretly, I work for the stock market.
That's exactly how business works.
Orange juice, buy it. It's going up. That is the plot of Trading Places. Great movie. Anyway, yeah, Birds of Prey. Like, the marketing on that movie is really weird because it comes off as like, you remember that one character you liked from Suicide Squad? We gave her a movie. It has nothing to do with the
That's literally
story.
how they pushed it.
Like, the story in itself is they're trying to rescue this young girl from fucking Black Mask. Roman Sionis, a crime lord, played by Ewan McGregor, one of the most flamboyant actors, in a,
Yo!
I will admit, a weird portrayal of that character, because in the comics, he's not quite like that. He's not obsessed with Harley Quinn, all that kind of stuff. And I can tell you, just from, like, reading about it and everything like that, like, the trailers and everything do not do what I'm assuming that story is, justice,
They
in
don't.
any way.
No.
They don't play up Huntress. They don't play up Rosie Perez's character, which, what's Rosie Perez's character's name in that movie? It's the cop. I can't remember her name in the
Anna
film.
Montoya?
Yeah, Deanna Montoya.
Yes.
They don't play her up in any
Play
way,
off of Inigo Montoya.
Yes.
You killed my father.
or
Compared to
or
that.
just her name in the comics. Either way is fine. But like,
I choose that they stole
that's fine.
that name.
I'm okay with you being like Princess Bride. I get it.
I got this.
I
because
understand.
I'm very, very sure the original book, The Princess Bride, came out before.
It's hard to tell with comics. Some of that shit, like they've introduced random characters in like the '60s, and they're like they died one issue in, and then 40 years later, like we brought them back.
That's the thing about comics. Nobody's actually dead. They
Well,
just like
soap
shelf them
operas.
for a while.
That's not true. North Star is still dead. The first ever openly gay comic book character. Literally, they have an issue where they introduce the first openly gay comic book character in X-Men. Big deal. It's like, my North Star, I'm gay, all this stuff. Next issue, Wolverine fucking kills him.
Oh man.
Never came back. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, in an alternate universe, they just haven't gotten to it yet.
I'm sure Wolverine's killed him on Earth 2 or 3 or 4. He's just like, that one needs to die. Every time. Don't even care. Tired of his fucking frilly hair. His bright pants. Murder. And I will say, in Wolverine's defense, he was brainwashed by Hydra when this happened. But it is funny because, like, he gets brainwashed by Hydra and he's like, you have to kill all the heroes. Only one he gets is North Star. Doesn't even maim anybody. Like, he straight up just kills North Star and then stabs out. He's like, I'm fine now. That's the weirdest agenda that Hydra ever had. Like, we can't allow gays. Gays in the X-Men?
Well, to be fair, Hydra is Nazis.
I mean, they're Nazis, but you figure they'd be like, kill the Jews. They're like, no, that one gay guy. He talked about it. He has to go.
But the hierarchy, though.
I
I'm
do like
pretty
the
sure gay superhero is gonna beat out rando Jew.
I do like the idea that Red Skull's like, we finally brainwashed the greatest killer in the world.
We must kill the only Jewish superhero now. We have the power.
Somebody says that to him, he's like, but what if the gay one? But why? He doesn't even do anything good. No.
The gay one.
We
though.
killed the gay one. His power is, I don't care. He's not even on the main team. It doesn't matter.
But yeah,
You know
I think the
Magneto.
other-
You know Magneto's Jewish, right? Don't care.
But I think the other part of why Birds of Prey didn't go over so well is because Harley Quinn, even though people did like her in Suicide Squad,
I don't think anybody wanted to watch her lead her
was
own movie
still
though.
a bad film.
It's a very bad film.
It was panned as a bad film. And so they're like, great, so a character from a film that was already bad gets her own movie, which I can only assume is going to be bad.
And not to do the whole men versus women debate, but if they would have done a Deadshot movie with Will Smith, I think that probably would have performed better. Just for the simple.
Gemini came out!
That movie didn't do well. That doesn't matter.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's my theory of what Gemini is. Will Smith finally got tired of having to share screen time with other people. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to make a movie where the other lead is me.
You're gonna pay me twice.
So I get 2 paychecks. I get 2 trailers. I get 2 makeup artists. I get 2 of everything.
He actually did a video with the slow-mo guys to promote that too, and it was kind of cool. It was just Will Smith destroying cardboard cutouts of younger Will Smith with different weapons.
That's just so
Like-
Will Smith up against himself.
They gave him a flamethrower at one point.
Well,
and
you know.
a potato launcher.
Her theory with Will Smith is that no matter what movie he is in, if there are other characters in it,
It will
every
inevitably be
B-plot,
about him.
it's a Will Smith movie.
Will Smith has 13 seconds of screen time. Top billing. I am the lead.
I mean, look, the movie wasn't supposed to be.
I think he's still just mad about not being in the Matrix.
The movie wasn't supposed to be about Deadshot, but it ended up being about Deadshot.
That movie was absolutely about Deadshot. He got his own, like, him and Harley, the only 2 characters who got to hang out with Batman.
Well,
in
and
that
they were
entire
the only,
film.
Well, and they were the only.
And then you
two
had Captain
people-
Boomerang got pushed over
They
by
were the only
Flash.
two people who were allowed to have like conversations to themselves. No one else got those.
I don't know, man. I still think Jack Courtney's the best part of that movie. What is
Oh,
fucking
he was hysterical.
Well, yeah.
when he goes back for the unicorn? Oh, it's so good.
You do see a clip of a wanted poster for him in Birds of Prey, and it made me
Well,
laugh.
I think he's probably going to be part of the Flash movie if they ever actually fucking make it.
Oh my god, they actually want to get to other properties?
Well-
I thought they wanted to recycle properties they've already done.
They
though.
do enjoy recycling property. We finally got a reveal for the Batman suit that
Pattinson.
thank you, is going to be wearing in the Batman movie.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of stoked about that movie.
I'm curious enough. I think he will do well.
I think he's going to do fine. Like, it's not that hard to play Bruce Wayne, especially when you're rich and good looking. It's not difficult.
Fair.
Literally, it's the only part that
It's
concerns
just-
me is when he puts the fucking suit on.
Literally, I think the problem is, you have our generation that is your Cedric Diggory or your Edward Cullen.
Why is that sparkly vampire dressed like Batman?
Exactly the problem that people are going to have to get over.
They should have just made Kristen Stewart Poison Ivy and gotten over with. We've been
Oh,
fucking.
God.
Oh!
God, no, please don't.
No, I think you would have had a Game of Thrones situation with Braun and Cersei where they can.
I'm
never
sure
have-
they can actually work together. Like, I can't
No.
imagine. Really? It's that bad?
Yeah, no.
No, it is
She
that
just
terrible.
she just slept with that dude who directed that bad Snow White movie.
Yeah.
We've all slept with a dude who directed a Snow White movie. Who cares? It happens to everybody.
I slept with Walt Disney. When was this? Where was I?
Speaking of hating Jews, I still think that's my favorite like Family Guy clip. Is when they're like, yeah.
Oh, they're in the Disney universe.
No, they're like, yeah, that one time they unfroze Walt Disney. They unfroze him like, the Jews dead yet? No, put me back. I'm like,
Oh,
Jesus
see, I just
Christ.
went for the Disney universe one.
The Disney Universe one's actually,
Everyone's like, look how gay we run, and then they have.
Jew!
No, it wasn't even that aggressive though. Every tone just got really dark. And then there's like, oh yeah, this is a Disney universe.
We've talked about hating Jews too much in this podcast, for my taste, I think.
No, we've talked about other people hating Jews.
No, I didn't mean us specifically. I didn't say that with the thought of like we should tone down how much we hate the
your-
Jewish community,
but
guys.
your phrasing was, we've talked about hating Jews way too much.
To be fair, that's fair. That is a true statement. We collectively
sounds
have
like-
talked about it too much.
But it sounds like that we specifically have been talking about hating Jews, which we have not.
Disclaimer: we don't hate the Jewish community. I have nothing else. I was gonna say some racist shit, but I decided against it.
That's probably going to
It's not racist. What is that? It's not religious. It's not a word. Fuck it, I'll think of it eventually. Anyway,
randomly just like, this is it.
but yeah, Birds of Prey did not do well at the box office. They changed the name just to Birds of Prey, which, to be fair, probably should have been the title from the beginning.
I agree.
Because when you put it like in the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn, of one Harley Quinn, did I get it right that time?
You did.
I'm fucking proud of me.
proud of
When
you.
you do that, it takes it away from being an ensemble movie and turns it into this is a Harley Quinn movie.
Yes.
And it doesn't need to be that. It should be about everybody because you have an awesome cast. You have, like, once again, you have fucking Ewan McGregor in this thing. That man, if he churned butter, I would turn up to watch it. I don't give a fuck. That dude can be in anything. Like, Dr. Sleep was awesome because of his performance. Like, he does so good in that fucking movie. Like, anything he is in, like,
I don't
he's...
feel like I'm allowed to watch Doctor Sleep until I've actually watched The Shining.
I would recommend watching The Shining. A little weird to watch the sequel before you've seen the first one.
That's my point.
You know what movie was good? What? Godfather 2. How was 1? No clue. Did you understand what happened? Didn't make any fucking sense. Great movie, though. They just kept
Hey,
referring to shit.
You know what? They keep one movie that also talks about The Godfather a lot is You Got Mail. They make references to The Godfather like crazy, and the female lead in that's always like, what the fuck is with all these guys? Every guy has seen The Godfather for some reason.
Because it's one of the greatest films ever made. It is the greatest sequel to a movie ever made. Number 2 is Terminator. Terminator 2 is the second best sequel ever made.
They
But,
could stop making them. I'd be okay with
yeah, they should have stopped after 2, really.
that. Yeah.
They were like, you know what Terminator 3 needs? What? Tits. That'll sell this movie. Story, plot, don't need it, just tits. Put them on the poster.
Hey, let's face it. there are just certain movie tropes that like went down in history for a while, like Scream. Like the
Scream 1 is fucking amazing.
the
Scream
Scream
one is really good.
the Scream franchise in general
Scream 4
changed
is good, too.
changed horror films. Like they became the standard of horror films for
Well,
a
yeah,
while.
it's just, it becomes too meta. Once you become meta, like, once the first one does it, it's fine. When everybody's like, meta, we have to get meta now. Then it's just like,
we
you've
have
killed
to be
it.
meta now. It's the
You've
only
completely
way
killed
we're
it.
gonna be good. Because Scream was good because it did that, so clearly that's what we need to do too.
Nobody understands that the first one to do it is the
no.
important one.
Here's the thing.
Once you develop a trope, you fuck the system.
Here's the thing, movie producers.
Yes, they're listening. That's right. They're like, I need to turn on Facebook. That fat dude with the mustache is talking to me. I can feel it in my bones.
Listen here.
The movie
main-
producer signal is in the sky. Quick, get on the bat phone.
The reason this one movie did so well was because they had an original idea, one, and or two, took an idea that someone has seen a billion times and made it interesting again.
It's funny that we're talking about original ideas while we're discussing a movie based on a property that came out 40 years ago. There is no such thing as original ideas anymore.
Well,
That's
to
kind
be
of the problem.
fair, to be fair though, with like Harley Quinn though, she didn't initially even exist until the animated series.
Yeah, she
which
came
was
out in the 90s. Yeah, she was created for the animated series and then found her way
She
into
was
the
just
comics.
supposed to be like a gag.
She was supposed to be a one-episode character, but people loved her so much that
Oh yeah,
they
everyone's
kept her
like,
on.
"Oh my god, the Joker has a girlfriend," and he actually like treats her relatively nicely, even in his
He
weirdly
really-
psychotic way.
Really doesn't. Really doesn't.
Really doesn't. In more episodes, he doesn't, but there are a few episodes where he legitimately does.
I am going to say, for those of you out there who happen to be listening to this, please stop saying that your love is like Harley and Joker.
Yeah, please don't do that.
It's not healthy.
Don't,
Not-
Really bad.
don't. If you want,
That's like being like, we're like Romeo and
If
Juliet.
you
I'm like,
want
that
a
didn't end well.
if you want a romance that seems really messed up, but is like so wholesome beyond all reason, go for the Addams Family.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Please use Please use Morticia and Gomez.
Couldn't remember Gomez's name. I'm like, Morticia and that guy.
Please use Morticia.
Couldn't remember
please use
Gomez's
Morticia
name.
and Gomez.
That is the perfect relationship. They're supportive of everything each other wants to do, and they have an open family where they're like, everybody can come stay with us, and then if you die, it's your fault. You shouldn't have fucked with Cousin It. Dude's a freak.
That's the life lesson.
Dude's a freak.
But they even like
All that bush.
they're even good at child rearing. Like they let their kids like do their like sibling bullshit.
You
with
said
each
child
other.
rearing, and my head went somewhere very bad, and then I remember what it actually meant.
Oh no!
I was like, they don't fuck their kids.
Oh dear!
You've been spending too much time on Pornhub.
Oh dear! Or something else.
According to Pornhub, you were not allowed to have a
Do
stepsister.
we need to call Child Protective Services?
Yeah, the Addams family. I think that's what they're called. The fat one just keeps screaming. I don't
know.
He just keeps saying
But
daddy. It's-
they're supportive of the like siblings need to have the sibling rivalry bullshit without letting it go too far.
True.
Like they let it go just far enough. They never actually let the kids hurt each other. They will let them torture.
I remember
maim,
plenty of times that Pugsley's head was in a guillotine.
but
Yeah,
it
but-
never went down.
It did. But he got his fucking little fat head out of there before.
Oh, we got the Borks. We will be back in a momento, everybody.
Honestly,
We are back.
2 seconds, and then we're done.
I thought they would do more, but they didn't. So I gave it a second. Trying to produce a high quality show here. That's why you guys don't have your own microphone. Because I'm good at this.
Well, no, we
We're also
only
just
have
loud.
one.
No, it's
Yeah,
because you're
we're-
loud as fucking shit.
Yeah, we're just loud as fuck, so we don't need this.
Full disclosure, we had a second mic, then we did a test, and I was like, don't want to kill people.
By we, he means he did, and he
I literally-
forgot who he was.
I literally turned your microphone down as low as I could go without muting it, and it was still fucking redlining. I'm like, no.
Oh, it's still
That's-
peaking. Oh, look, new follower. Hello.
Hey, Heather Jones, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Valhalla. No, it's Valhalla.
No.
Oh, hold on a second. All right, guys, sorry about that. We are actually going to call the podcast here, having some technical issues on our side, but we will be back hopefully sooner than later with another episode for you. But I appreciate everybody who came and hung out with us. Once again, I am sorry that we are cutting this short, but we will be back at some point. Until next time, I have been your Big Gay Viking, Logan. That has been
Lisa.
and
Megan.
thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night.